everyone. I'm Katerina Suprun. Today is November 22nd and Militarny is reporting. Ukrainian forces have successfully struck at the concentration of manpower of the 810th Separate Guards Marine Brigade of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. This was first reported by Magyar, the commander of the company of attack drones Magyar's Birds, then confirmed by the Russians, and today it was reported by the Center for Strategic Communications of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. It was noted that at the time of the strike, the Russian invaders had gathered to celebrate the so-called Day of the Russian Artilleryman. The Ukrainian Defense Forces quickly identified the venue of the celebration and warmly welcomed them. It is known that the concert was held on November 19 in a club in the village of Kumachevo, Kumachevo district in the Donetsk region. Russian propagandists, of course, scolded the leadership that allowed such a celebration and reported about 25 Russian soldiers killed and more than 100 wounded. There are also reports of the death of Russian actress Polina Menshik, who supported the occupation forces and performed at this celebration. There is a video online of the moment of the strike at the club, but for obvious reasons we will not show it on YouTube, but we can show the consequences. The Russians claim that the strike was carried out by 5 missiles, including M30A1 and M31 from the GMLRS family. The distance from the settlement to the front line is 70+ kilometers. Therefore, Ukrainian forces could have used Gemler's Hires or M270 to destroy the enemy. Every day, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reports the elimination of about 1,000 occupants. As of November 22nd from February 24th, 2022, the Russian losses amounted to 320,760 people. Of course, these figures are not final. However, the use of high-precision weapons allows us to eliminate the occupiers by the dozens. And this case has been confirmed. So we decided to collect several such stories in one issue. All these events are known from open sources. There is visual confirmation. They all happened in November, and in all of these cases, the HIMARS MRL or M270 was most likely used. This is an administrative building in the village of Askania Nova, where the occupiers set up their headquarters or barracks. The drone recorded Russian military equipment near the building. One of the vehicles looks like a command and staff vehicle based on BTR 880. There was also a military truck with a canopy next to it. The distance from the front line is about 50 kilometers. The UAV that captured the building before and after the hit is probably a Ukrainian Shark, which is paired with a Humvee and an M270. The result is, so to speak, obvious. And this is again the Kherson region, the village of Brylivka, the occupied territory. It is about 40 kilometers to the front line. The scheme is the same. A reconnaissance drone detected enemy activity, identified the buildings occupied by the invaders, and engaged the enemy forces. The enemy's losses are unknown. By the way, a train with military equipment on the railroad was already hit in this village this summer. After that, the occupiers resettled people from the territory adjacent to the railway station so that they would not pass information to the armed forces of Ukraine about the movement of enemy equipment. And one more case that cannot be overlooked is the so-called Unmanned Aerial Vehicle Center in Donetsk. Not only did the Russians repeatedly show it on video and tell us that future drone pilots were being trained there and assembled FPV drones, but they also published its exact address. The propagandists tried to deny that it was a military facility. The distance to the front line from here is about 10 kilometers. The enemy's losses are unknown, but judging by the damage to the building, MLRS rockets were used again. These several incidents, I note, occurred in November. This work of the Ukrainian armed forces allows us to conclude that our troops are systematically destroying significant targets of invaders. The key to effectiveness is intelligence and accuracy of targeting. Every day the General Staff reports that Ukrainian rocket launchers hit places of concentration of personnel, equipment and ammunition depots. And these are not just the rocket units. Ukrainian artillery and aviation are also operating against the enemy. There are enough targets for the Ukrainian Defense Forces as long as they have the weapon. It is known from open sources that Ukrainian missile units have received 36 MRL, 20 HIMARS and 16 M270. The GMLRS rockets can hit targets at a distance of up to 80 kilometers, are accurate, and can, for example, destroy an enemy drone crew. It is worth noting that the aid package from the United States, which was announced on November 20, includes another HIMARS system. There are no details, but it can be modified to launch GLSDB rockets. This is a GBU-39 guided bomb weighing 130 kilograms with a rocket motor for the M26 rocket. When the engine is disconnected, the bomb's wings decompose in the air, which significantly increases its range. According to the declared characteristics, it can be 150 kilometers. Ukraine is to receive such missiles this year. The use of such weapons will allow enemy targets to be reached even further in the rear, disrupting the logistics and supply of Russian troops. As soon as such a video of the missiles being used appears, we will immediately inform you about it on the Militani channel, or it could be the HIMARS system, which can be used to launch ATACMS missiles. But that's another story. Subscribe to the Militani channel and support the Ukrainian army. Of course, Ukrainian charitable foundations cannot buy a HIMARS system yet, but they can buy the scouts who help these missiles hit targets better and more accurately.